Hi, Peter Bernstein, Senior Editor of TMC Net, and I'm here just off the show floor at ITEXPO East in beautiful Miami Beach. For those of you in the Northeast, I'm sorry, this is where I'm from, but weather here is beautiful, and we have lots of interesting things going on, including, it is my pleasure to talk to Tommy Lee, who's the Director of Channel Partners at Snom, and we have a couple of interesting things to talk about, actually. First is, you're making an announcement at the show.
Correct. We have a lot of things to show at our booth. Thank you, Peter. We are actually showing at our booth a new DECT wireless product that we're bringing out to market very recently, and it really goes beyond the standard, DECT-based single base station SIP phone. So we're proud to talk about that. And
just out of curiosity, why DECT?
The reason why we chose DECT, there's lots of technical reasons why we did that, because DECT, number one, is a very, very proven technology. It's been around for well over 10 years, used throughout Europe since we're a German-based company. But the reason what we're doing is that when you transmit voice over wireless data, the best thing you want is wireline speeds, and you can achieve that by actually having the base stations hook into a wired line Ethernet where you can actually control quality of service. But you use DECT as a fantastic tool to transmit your voice data onto the base station where it doesn't compete with the wireless LAN signals, so that many people who are going around and downloading data, it is totally independent of that type of
So truth in advertising, I actually have a DECT phone at home.
Great.
For performance reasons, especially when you're doing speakerphone conference calls.
Absolutely.
Quality's incredible.
It is. It's a fantastic tool for transmitting voice, and it allows that voice to get to that base station where it has wireline speed technologies, where it makes in most environments immune to quality of signal type of challenges. That
so let's talk a little bit about the things that really concern enterprise customers,
Sure.
which is coverage,
yes.
And capacity.
Absolutely. One of the things that we're bringing out today is the multi-base station. We call it the M700 series. And classically, about 4 to 5 years ago, DECT VoIP base stations were only limited to one base station, coupled by about 4 or 5 different phones that paired up to that one base station. And in later cases, you were able to only expand that by using a single repeater onto that base station. So that gave you approximately about 300 feet radius from the base station where you can move around. But nowadays, when you have a large enterprise or even a medium-sized enterprise, you have cases where you have companies that are situated in different floors or perhaps located in odd-shaped offices that could be an L where the normal radius of a DECT base station isn't effective to cover all the different areas.
Plus, the nice thing, you get to bring all your features with you.
That is
number
correct.
one. And number two, you get seamless handover.
Correct, absolutely. And what we're capable of doing, the M700, you could actually cascade up to 40 different base stations together where you can overlap the coverage throughout your office, and it could support up to 200 handsets, all in conjunction. Of course, each of them, depending whether you connect on high frequency or low frequency, you can have up to about 10 different calls that are simultaneous on that one base station. But in addition to the base stations, we also have what we call the M5 repeater. Now, the M5 repeater looks very much like our old existing M5 repeater, but the enhancement that we've made is that we can actually take that repeater and daisy chain them. In the past, it was always done by a daisy chain design where you have the base station and one repeater that surrounded it. Now what you can do is have the base station, repeater, and have another repeater repeat another repeated station together. And that's really helpful when you're trying to cover an area that doesn't have a wired line Ethernet to that location.
Real fast question. What are you seeing from the customer perspective in terms of their urgency of needing to get this kind of capability into the enterprise?
What we find by the customer is that up until recently, there's been a very big gap between what we call the existing or legacy DECT systems, which only had one repeater and one base station, which gave you about a maximum of 300 feet. Between then, it was kind of a black hole between 300 feet and the rest of the organization where you go, well, how about going Wi-Fi at that point in time? And there's a big technical gap between there. And what this does, it raises the floor of a very simple implementation of DECT to cover a good micro area within your organization to give you that wired coverage in either a warehouse situation, a retail situation that has much larger floor area for your staff, rather than having just limited to that one.
Yeah, it's interesting because, as you said, DEC's been around for a long time.
Yes, it has.
But the reality is, in certain vertical markets, Wi-Fi is not the answer.
Yeah, I mean, you can do it with Wi-Fi, but then with Wi-Fi, you have to really get into the network guts by implementing quality of services with your VoIP plan. And not every company is equipped to maybe upgrade their system, but this is something you can retrofit in any organization. A good micro wireless phone system that could take advantage of
Anyway, exciting stuff here at the show. If you're here, stop by the booth.
I appreciate it.
And if not, go on the website. Tommy, have a great show, and thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Take care.